Don't start shit if you ain't ready to get hit.
Or allow me to drop some knowledge.
We have to disagree. I saw that Sailor Moon outfit.
Let me flip it.
Hi, my love.
Hey, how are you?
To be asking you that.
I'm hanging in there.
I'm
I'm
telling
hanging in there.
you, only respect. Love, Jay.
Hey,
Hold on a second.
Ready for Maurice. I'm so sorry about that.
that's okay.
I see.
Actually, my girlfriend actually surprised me. I was not in like good spirits today, and she surprised me. She came and you feel better.
Okay,
What?
I'll give you a virtual hug.
All right.
A virtual hug.
Just this fucking anxiety I have, man. I'll tell you, I'll never wish it on my worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
There you are.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, how's everybody doing today? Okay.
Yeah,
Maurice,
good.
welcome back, Maurice. Haven't been here for a minute.
Yeah.
Good to be
What's
here.
going on, my
Good to be
DM?
here. How's everyone?
Wait, hold on. Off record. I got a bone to pick with you. Accept my
I'm
friend
listening.
request, bro. Come on, man. It's been like a month already.
Mad late with it. Nah, Maurice, you don't be on the gram like that.
No, not at
No,
all.
on
You already
Facebook. I'm
know.
talking about Facebook. I added him and I still see the request is still pending. I'm like, damn,
He's
you don't like me.
probably like,
I'll have
who
to
is this
scroll
dude?
through. You know how many people request me and stuff.
Exactly.
But I'll make a note to look and track
Send
for
him a
that.
message.
Yo,
Yeah.
but I'm special. But I'm special though. All right, I'm special.
You alright. You alright. Some days are better than others.
Oh, too funny.
that.
What's going on, my BMF army? I hope everybody's doing well. It's your favorite Jedi, the BMF goddess. Today I'm honorably joined by my co-host Jay. You already know, Miss Megan,
Hi.
and the Black Dragon, right?
All day.
So today we're gonna be talking about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's retirement, everything that's going on behind the scenes with current affair in WWE and shit like that. Because wow, all the drama all at once.
Crazy.
And I feel like everybody's in line to get injured too. Matt Riddle's injured now. That made me really sad for him. He was on a roll with Randy Orton, and now he's injured. So it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's what
So
happens when you work that type of
It's
schedule year round.
it's always the SummerSlam or WrestleMania curse. All the good talents are getting injured around that time.
Yeah. Why nobody can get injured like a Survivor Series?
he makes a he makes a good point. That's crazy.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
Most people know. I know not everybody that watches is a wrestling fan, but for those that don't know, Vince McMahon recently was how will we put this together? He was accused.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Him that he paid off 4 women, like an obscene amount of money, keep quiet about sexual relations that they had. nothing has come out that he's done anything illegal. Maybe he looks bad for business, but up to now, I was just like, whatever, that's his business. I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, you know, he put out the news that he's retiring, and a lot of people are speculating that it has to do with the allegations. I personally definitely feel kind of, I have the sadness because as much as Vince gets on my nerves with decisions that he makes at WWE and how I've heard from actual wrestlers and watching wrestlers interview how much of a prick he can be, he's still the godfather of wrestling to me.
Yeah.
And to many of them.
Yeah. Like, he's done a lot for us, whether we want to, because, you know, he is responsible for buying out territories to make one organization. So he is the blueprint for that. I mean, come on, his father was a promoter, but his father was boxing. So, but still, you know, you can say what you want to say, and yeah, he may not have the best judgments. His father was a promoter for boxing, and he wanted to do wrestling. So, I mean, even though this stuff is like crazy, you still got to respect what he's done.
You got to respect everything. The fact that he took something that was like at one point in time like a carnival sideshow and made it into $1 billion business. You know, stupid people don't make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know.
I like what you just said because a lot of people don't know that where wrestling originated. Say that again.
It was a carnival sideshow.
So
you would go to like a circus and you would have people and you would pay to fight them and you would get beat up. But everybody wanted to be the strong man, and you know, you make it work. You hustle it just like any other carnival sideshow, or maybe the next guy get him, and you got separated from your teeth and your money at the same time.
Yeah, that was also back when, like, they didn't play about that. Like, it was my money or your ass. So that's how it was.
Nah, think about it. Like, even though most of them were like competing, maybe like once a year or two a year, they were doing a lot more aggressive shit than what you do today. Today, they actually
were crazy,
than what they used to do. Like Bruno Sammartino, look how he stuttered at the Hall of Fame in 2013. It's all that abuse he was taking during the time working for Vince's dad, and then after that working with Vince himself. You know, those were like aggressive wrestling moves. They really wanted to show only strong survived.
And they wrestled a lot more too.
The ring was different itself.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Being that you said that, you guys heard the news about the networks wanting them to go back to TV 14?
Yeah, it needs to. I
don't know how long it's going to take for real wrestling to come back. But
well, think of it this way.
TV 14 isn't going to change it back to real wrestling. You're just going to see a couple more curses and a little bit more cleavage. They're just upset that...
No, they trying to put it back, like, back to, you know, no blood.
Well, think of it this way. Right now, here's the thing. Like it's like what we said before. The last time all four of us was together. AEW elevated professional wrestling. It didn't elevate sports entertainment. And what was elevating it before AEW was New Japan, Ring of Honor, right? But you know who was competing with that and was eye on that the whole time? Was Triple H when he had the black and gold NXT brand. He elevated what professional wrestling was about. He cared about sports entertainment, but he also wanted to adapt and catch on to this timeline of this generation of what wrestling is about. Yeah, so if it does go back to TV 14 and he's the head of the creative, I know a part of him, he's going to throw shades at AEW a little bit, just the way how they've been doing it to us. So, like, you know, like, and Vince, like I said, Vince is the pioneer of competition. He was the one that originally made a promotion like WCW, ECW.
And Monday Night War, that was a real thing.
And at the time when Jerry the King Lawler was doing that promotion in what was it? What's the name?
Tennessee, right?
Tennessee. There you go. Like they had a big promoting wrestling company as well, and Vince took them all out. Because it's like what Paul Heyman said in that pipe bomb back in '98.
Mhm.
If your dad was still alive, he would have never took none of us out because he knew that we all needed each other. But Vince was smart enough to take that company and elevate it his own brand just to make it smart. And now that it's elevated, he didn't found any other wrestling promoter that is now like New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW. He didn't find it as a threat. He was like, I already took out the major threat that was back then, like WCW. Because WCW, WWE, at the time, WWF was the biggest two company, the only two company that went head to head. Everyone else couldn't elevate it with them. But now with Triple H, he's bringing back a little bit of that old school now. I know that's his plan. So
you gotta remember, WWE is a business. The one thing, because remember, I'm a wrestler, but I also ran a wrestling company. When you go to the other side, there's whole other aspects to it. You got to think how much WWE brings in video games and movies. WWE Studios makes money, merchandise. There is no competition, dollars and cents. When you look at earnings calls, trust me, AEW and as a fan is great. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. But how profitable is it? That's the one thing that people miss. There's more than one side of things. And WWE is making money hand over fist. We talk about the Saudi blood money. It's terrible. But the fact that you can make... They made more money in Saudi Arabia doing what, 3 or 4 shows in a year than AEW made all year. Yeah. That's crazy. That's business.
I'm convinced that they run on that con money a lot.
Why would you not? Like, as a businessman? But humanly, it's terrible. It's abysmal. It's horrible. But business, you don't have to be a gentleman and be a businessman. They're not two in the same. You gotta.
Can we point out the biggest blueprint of this? Someone called this out 11 years ago.
None of this is new. None of this is new. Oh, one thing you said, Goddess, that you said wasn't illegal.
CM Punk called it out.
Allegedly, we have to see where that money came from.
Oh,
and what it was allotted to.
I want to know if it came out the company's money.
Because if it came out the company and was billed as something else and sold that to stockholders, then things like that,
if you think about
that's what could be the illegality. If it came from his own pocket, hey, that's on him. But
listen,
they still don't.
But the fact that he had to pay, okay, if you're paying, that means you know you're doing something dead wrong. Yeah. Because if you weren't paying it, you wouldn't do it. But you have to understand too, like, okay, even with the Monday Night War situation, like that situation, they were kind of taking a little bit of ECW, the superstars. Because let's be clear, there would have not been a cruiserweight division in WCW if it wasn't for ECW. Look at all the people he took. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, La Parka, Conan. Those are all people from, because back then it was a tape of a tape of a tape of a tape of a tape. That's how it was back. No, but that's how it was back then, you know. And the thing about this is, like, here's the difference with, like, somebody who's like a WWE fan and an AEW fan. You can tell, like, AEW fans, those are hardcore fans. Like, I like to dub it internet fans. Because I don't know about nobody else, but when I found out about that merging coming together with New Japan and Ring of Honor, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was just like, oh my God. And I was lucky enough to go to Forbidden Door. So, shout out to my boss, JB. No, but I'm trying to tell you, like, I talked to people who came from Puerto Rico, who came from Canada. Like, those are die-hard fans. It's like the feeling to go to 2 shows is different. It's a different feeling. It really, really is. You go to a WWE event, you're going to have fun. You go to an AEW event, you may lose your damn voice. So, yeah, but we just have to wait and see. But I do agree with you, Maurice. If I think it really does boil down to where the money came from. If it came from his own pocket, Okay, then nobody could say nothing. But if it was like a business, but if he was doing it like under the business, then it's like, oh, Vince, you done
Then
messed
you're in trouble. Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Well,
Thank you, Galore. We actually talking wrestling. I know you told me you don't really follow that stuff, but I love you.
well, to point it out, like what we said earlier about Vince, you know, Vince is a smart guy. He's a smart business guy, and I think he put in a perspective. Like if this has to do with all the allegation, he put it in perspective that I'd rather lose my company to my daughter that's been helping me running it for so long than losing it to these fucking people that's giving him a lawsuit. Like I see it that he put it in a perspective like if he goes down alone. The company doesn't go down with him. So that's why like I said,
that was smart.
It was a smart business move.
It's good business.
But like I said, if it fucks him over, we know now why he gave the company away to his daughter, and now because his daughter married a Triple H, that's why Triple H is now ahead of creative. And since this is connecting the dots, not just with Vince, but don't forget, it's connecting it with John Laurinaitis. It's connecting it with what's his name?
Allegedly.
The long haired dude that always do the interviews, but now he's like backstage creative.
He's talking about who was the Freebird?
Yeah, from the Freebird.
Yeah, from the Freebird.
He's also part of that whole allegation too. So if they're all disappearing, it's because they know if they're risking their lives, they're risking the company as well. So
but also, let's be real, right?
The moment Vince retired, they were losing a lot of creativity teams that were part of him. They were losing every other higher up, and now look at that. Now, what's his name? Nick Khan, Stephanie, and now Triple H are gonna run it now. So, what is the smart move that Vince did? He retired. Yes. Is he gonna miss being backstage and everything? Of course. That's his baby. No matter what, WWE is his baby. At the time, WWF, that's his baby. He said it at the Pat McAfee show. This is mine, but I'm not gonna risk it losing it if there's something going on. And he said in the Pat McAfee, and I think even before Mania, I feel like this was already happening. It just he didn't know.
Nothing new. Yeah,
it was gonna blow up like the way it has been.
Do you guys think that he paid them to be quiet because at the time he was still?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
I'm saying, do you think it was because at the time he was still with Linda? He didn't want her to know.
No.
Nobody's saying how long.
I don't think so.
Have been separated.
Are they even still together or they're separated?
They're separated.
This is nothing new. Like at the end of the day, Vince, we respect him as a business. Nobody should be surprised when Vince is sleazy. Anybody who comes up with incest, storylines and the genetic jackhammer and grapefruits, Vince is Vince. But however, the way wrestling was once upon a time, especially for the vets, it was disgusting, but there was a different time and time, right? Not to say that was right, because it was wrong, but that was normal. If there was camera phones back around in the Attitude Era, pre-Attitude Era, the Golden Era, most of our wrestlers would be locked up. Period. The amount of stories that you hear from the plane ride from hell to the stuff that we don't even know about.
Oh, go up. Okay, but back then they call it ribbing. One of the main people who did it, you can go up a little bit further, was Dynamite Kid.
Yeah.
He did it so bad to a point a wrestler, he never wrestled again. And like that's what they call breaking you in. Look, y'all, I'm trying to get signed, but for the record, if you rib me and do that to say it's a joke, I'm going to jail. I'm telling you, I don't find that funny. I'm going to jail. I will be like, Mama, you know my information. Here, you can bail me out. I'll call you when I need to get out. That ain't supposed to be like, no. Like, But on the other side, you got to think Aleister Black, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. You can't tell me they all like, damn.
damn.
You can't tell me they're like,
Yeah.
God dang it. Because Tony Khan released a statement. They're all signed to like 2027.
Yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
don't know about Gargano. Gargano has been speaking to
Damn.
Triple H.
That's a long ass contract.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Oh, it is.
Damn
Look it
right.
up.
That's smart business.
It's either 225 or 227. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gargano, I heard Gargano has been talking to Triple H again though. That's what I've been hearing.
I hope that works out.
Because
he's such
the
a
thing is,
leader.
Gargano put a statement that he didn't want to leave NXT because he said NXT he had fun, but he left because when they were doing that whole 2.0 bullshit, he was like, no, if Triple H and Shawn is not gonna run NXT, I'm not gonna be here because Shawn is the one that trained him and helped him out to get pushed to be an NXT champion or NXT North American champion. It was because of Shawn and Hunter. He wanted to push these indie guys because that's what they're known for. They were known to be indie guys.
That's what they are. That's exactly what they are.
Indie guys.
Adam idolized Shawn Michaels. And so did, because I remember he did an interview and he said, sometimes I have to pinch myself because I can't believe that I'm working with somebody and I'm friends with somebody that I looked up to. And now he's doing my matches. And like I said, Shawn Michaels, he's so humble with it. But him and Triple H make a great combination in the ring, outside of the ring. Now they make a great combination.
It's not so easy to work with.
Oh, I know, I heard. I heard. But
I guess that changes with age.
Yeah, they're changing with age.
His injury changed him a lot. When he had his back injury, it helped him allow to be humble. But they said that creatively, he was a fucking bitch to work with.
I remember that.
That's why Brett, even Taker told him. Taker had said in the interview when he retired, he said, Shawn, if you don't drop that title to Stone Cold, I will come out there myself and knock you back out.
No, I remember.
He was in a gorilla position. He was in a gorilla position waiting if Shawn was going to do the right move. And luckily, he did the right move, and that's when the whole Austin era began. Because and that's the thing I liked about Triple H. He loves to bring not just the clique friends, but he brings the Attitude Era friends that he's still close with to help him out creatively. Because now he makes Kevin Nash and Taker work together to help the big guys that can fucking move. And it's smart because he knows that they know the business.
These were successful big people. That's what she's teaching you.
Let's put it this
Matt
way.
Morgan mentioned that.
Yeah.
Well, when he was there, he mentioned and he said, Taker, even though Taker was he said something that blew my mind. He said the wrestlers that were established, they were the one who were more nicer because their spot was solidified. He said it was somebody up and coming.
That's why, because we were brought up in a dog eat dog. You gotta vie for your spot. If you're injured, you could leave and come back and your spot is gone. How many people were on the precipice and they got injured and they were just never the same? How many people were white hot and then gone?
Look at Big E. Look at Big E, for example. He's going to retire now because of his neck injury. And he was red hot.
That wasn't set in cement.
That wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
It's not confirmed, but it's a possibility.
But it's a possibility. It is.
It's a possibility. But he was red hot. Think about it. Money in the Bank shocked the world to beat Bobby Lashley when Bobby Lashley was also running hot. He was the face.
What happened to the American Dragon, and he came back stronger than ever. So,
well, like I said, you got to think about it too. But Bruno Sammartino said it too. The technology today is so different. Technology today is so different. It leaves hope for Paige. It honestly does because Daniel Bryan was 2 years. Edge was 9. So it goes to show you just got to keep going and keep going and keep, if it's something you really, really want.
And there's rumors that Paige is going to debut soon in AEW. So she already spoke to Tony Khan, supposedly.
Oh, God. I wish she never changed herself, man.
But do you think she will fall in that same category as a Ruby Soho?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yo, that you kind of.
I don't think so. Because I think
No,
the
I'm
issue
being
with Ruby,
honest.
I
Like,
think,
wouldn't they
Because I
be?
feel like
I
the
think,
role was in reverse. I feel like when Ruby came, Ruby was like a repackage of Paige. When Paige got injured, she couldn't do much. Because think about it. You had the Riot Squad debuted the same week when Absolution debuted. Because
mhm.
that was the big storyline that those team was gonna meet one day.
Yeah.
But because Paige got hurt again, all of that shit was scratched off.
Yeah.
So basically it was like even though I think Ruby's like the same age as Paige, but it was kind of like passing the torch from Paige to Ruby because Paige wanted to push Ruby to be one of the top stars.
Yeah.
But of course,
Triple H
Vince,
did too.
yeah, but of course, Vince had other ideas. Like I said, he was smart, but he just couldn't catch up to time no more. The time is not like how it was in the Attitude Era.
No.
It's now different. Like we like he says he listens to the crowd, but can we just be honest? Are you really
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No,
He
he
doesn't.
don't.
He pushes who he
He
wants to push.
don't listen to us. Hell
Let me
no.
speak on that. There's two main
different.
differences between Ruby and Paige
Okay.
in the WWE mentality.
Okay.
And even going over to AEW, one is aesthetics. There are people that are going to flock to Paige because their definition of attractive, Paige would be higher on the scale. And unfortunately, there's some people who are going to get pressed just because they're attractive or textbook attractive or what they push as attractive. And then two, that's minor. But majorly, I think Paige has that character, has that natural. She's a star.
She knows how to
The way
play.
she carries herself, she's a star. Now, Ruby in the ring, oh my God, she's amazing. But I don't feel that natural connection to the crowd. Paige, when she comes out, you can't ignore her. She has that connection. It's organic. And Ruby just doesn't have that natural, raw, kinetic connection. And that's not something you can really fake unless you give her a manager or do some other stuff. And they tried. But there's just something not there that she doesn't have that Paige does have. So if Paige comes back with that length of time, I don't think, if pushed right, because you can still, sometimes people are talented and get treated horrible and then they just get trashed out. It happens. But I think Paige has enough, she'd be fine.
Yeah, but I had to say that because I thought them. But the difference is too is Paige is great on the mic. Like me being in this industry for a year, like working behind the scenes and stuff like that. I hate saying this out loud, but a lot of females don't know how to do a promo.
I agree.
That is a lot of their weakness. Is that
the females that don't wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
That's true too. That's very true.
I wanted me to be somebody wrestler. I mean, somebody manager. What you done fucked up there? What?
Jesus Christ.
But I said no because when I told them the reason why, they looked stunned. If I was somebody manager, that means I can't interview them. I can't interview them. I can't interview their opponents. So now my pool just got divided in half. So I was like, no, I mean,
it's just one particular thing, you mean, right?
You don't want to put in
and
the
with
box.
the manager, they're supposed to. As a manager, you're the sizzle. They're the steak.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I want Wagyu beef. So no, I don't want to be my manager.
Please repeat that, because some people forget that. Some people forget that.
Yeah, some people forget. Like, just when managers are bumping in the ring. I'm like, what the hell? Like, no. Like, I said, I mean, like, I work here. Lord, help me.
I ain't throwing no shade, but
I thank you very much for teaching my mama.
Oh, man.
What do you guys feel about the last Woo? Woo! This Sunday, let me tell you, I'm fucking hyped. I'm hyped, and
I'm going to pray.
She's like,
all right,
stop. It's hard to watch you get fucked up.
But
especially that video that they put out with them mugging Ric Flair, all of the three of them.
But
it was hard to watch.
But how is he gonna do this? No, not Rick. who's his opponent? Jeff Jarrett, right?
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Okay, how is Jeff Jarrett gonna do this? Isn't this Saturday SummerSlam, and isn't he the special guest referee?
He's the special guest referee for Ric Flair's match. Saturday SummerSlam, and Ric Flair's is on Sunday. His show.
So
Why?
Going against Jay Lethal and who's teaming with Jay Lethal again?
I think isn't it Jeff? Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, I think it's Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal versus
Jeff Jarrett is the referee for SummerSlam, and then
Jeff Jarrett is
wrestling against Flair. Yeah.
teaming up with
and Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade, yeah.
Andalo, whatever. El
Yeah.
Idolo.
El pendejo. That's what I call him. El
I don't like
pendejo.
his name.
I can be
Andrade was just fine. I don't know. Well,
I know. I saw Andrade in person because I was like, I always thought he was a good looking dude. When you see him in person, I was like, oh, I see Charlotte. Oh, I see. I said, I get it now. I get it.
they seem to be in love though, so I don't know. I hope he's good to her.
I want nothing to happen to him.
I'm
because
afraid,
he's had
I'm
health
afraid.
care. I'm afraid. I am. Like,
Even though, like, it's like this, it's like what Edge and Taker said when people ask them why they haven't retired yet. It's hard because they feel like they still got it. They're gonna keep going. And listen, but the difference is these guys were in their fucking 40s and 50s. Rick is in his 70s.
Countless times. That was why I was a little disappointed on Austin coming back just a little bit, because he was the one person who didn't go back on his word. But I couldn't be mad after the match that he had.
After the match.
No,
That match is probably
hilarious.
why we're getting this match.
I'm sorry.
Because Flair probably still saw that was like, if he can do it, then you can do it. Let's just,
But here's the thing,
man.
though. But here's the
sorry.
thing. Stone Cold is like 30 years younger than this fucking moron. So there's a huge difference.
Yeah, but Flair in his mind, I've been wrestling 30 years longer than Austin, so I still got it.
But guess what? It was because of Austin. Ric Flair was out of a job in WCW because Austin elevated the WWE with the Attitude Era. So he can't do what Stone Cold does. And mind you, Kevin Owens did amazing with Stone Cold that night. That was like the highlight of the
Absolutely. Made him look good.
Made him look amazing.
And as opponents, you know, Jay Lethal's going to protect him. You know, it's not like Jeff Jarrett's going to hurt him.
But I feel like Andrade and Jay Lethal are going to mainly be more in the ring and have like a good show. But like to make the crowd get into it a little bit, they'll probably give Ric Flair and Jeff like a 5-minute like a stare down, then chops, something that can make Rick look good. But I doubt Jay and Andrade are going to freaking keep wrestling these guys. They're going to want to wrestle each other because they can do the moves. They can do the
oil. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, I'm calling that he's not going to win because otherwise, what's the point? You're not passing the torch? You want to go out and do nothing? I think that would be whack.
I just wish he stayed retired in 2008 when he wrestled Shawn. That was a great
perfect retirement, man.
Think about it. Daniel Bryan called that out with all these legends. Remember the whole thing with the Survivor Series match was getting built up. You guys remember what Daniel Bryan said to Mick Foley? You guys can't keep your fucking words. Like you talk about how you're done with wrestling, but the moment you left WWE, you went to TNA, you wrestled Ric Flair when Ric Flair was supposed to be retired for 2 years. So like, you know, he put them on the spot in that interview.
Ric Flair issue was the money. Cause you remember the documentary and JR said it, he was like, Ric Flair went to TNA because he had no money.
Yep.
Jesus.
4 alimony for 4 people. 4 alimony. Yeah. And also living like Ric Flair.
He's the definition of a no pull-out game. That's who Ric Flair is. Because he has like so many fucking baby mamas. He has child support every week.
But
So
it's
that's
deeper
like,
than that. I think it was Jake the Snake who said it. Is like when you're on the road year in, year out, and every time somebody sees you, they see you as the celebrity. What do you do when nobody calls your name anymore? What do you do when you just have to go home and just be
I
you?
tell
How
you,
many times have we
that's
seen like
something that's addicting. It is.
it's
It can be.
addicting, and
It
it's
is addicting. But
in
somebody
this
from the
age,
outside don't understand it. Because I remember I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, "Girl, let me tell you something. When you're in that 20 by 20 or 18 by 18, that's addicting for some people. That you have, and I said it's a turn off for certain women too, because you got to understand, you have the power to make a crowd cheer for you, boo you. And you have a crowd, you have the control to shut them up when you have a mic in your hand.
and
So that's addicting, you know, being on,
and
yeah,
we
you're
know,
tired of the being on the road and stuff like that, but that energy you feel and that adrenaline rush,
undescribable.
and back to the main guy we were doing the show for. I guarantee you, Vince is gonna feel that one day. Like sooner or later, he's gonna be like, "Damn, I miss my company. I miss the crowd." I'm like, that's gonna happen to everybody, and it's not just wrestling. I think it's just athletes in general. Like BMF knows, I've been
it's a
struggling to
rapper
get back.
too.
Yeah, I've been struggling to get back in MMA because it's an adrenaline rush for me. It's a drug to me because I enjoy the fact that I get to compete with people that fight just like me, and when you win, and you know you're this close to get to that top of the
Yeah, yeah,
mountain, and you lose it, you feel empty. And when
yeah.
those years process, it's the same. Like look at Edge. That's why Edge was dealing with anxiety and depression because he was gone from something he loves the most
You
for
love
9 years.
That's all he
Then he
knew.
was, and even Punk, like look at Punk when he made his return in AEW. You see it in that expression. He missed it. He missed professional wrestling. You could
I
tell it
think
by
he
the
thought he was gonna get it in UFC, and it wasn't.
he was
I think
trying
he
to
thought,
find
yeah,
it's just like a relationship. He was trying to find a backup plan to rebound what he truly loved, but it didn't work. So you got to go back with something that you have passion for.
yeah.
And that's the thing about, like, I'm guessing Ric Flair is going through that every year. He misses the ring, he misses wrestling, but he, even though he won't admit that he's not the same guy we idolized watching when he was with the Four Horsemen, when he was with Evolution, even when he had that little feud with Mr. Kennedy. I thought that feud was amazing in WWE when they were fighting for the Intercontinental title.
His beef with Eric Bischoff when he said, "Fire me, you can't fire me. Fire
Yeah.
me."
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
That was funny.
That's the Ric Flair we want to remember and cherish for the rest of our lives because he made it entertaining. He was great. He was a great in-ring performer. Don't get me wrong. My favorite match of all time, to this day, my favorite match is always going to be him with Taker at WrestleMania 18. Him, of course, with Dusty in that cage. Who's never going to forget that? Ric Flair.
What have to say? That's no. When him and his rivalry with Steamboat.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we go. Yeah.
So,
And
I mean,
Macho. Who forgets about the rival he had with Macho Man? Great fucking match. Not one match was bad with Macho. That's what I'm saying. Like Ric Flair did what he did, but I get it.
Rumble, the '92 Rumble.
Oh, amazing performance.
Here am I.
Even he was a heel. Even though he was a heel, he did exactly what he was supposed to do: perform and entertain the shit out of all of us, and he did that. Even though we were like babies at the time when we were kids, but it was entertaining for us.
Yes,
and
you just need to. I can just so see him in that mentor role, like how where Triple H is and Shawn Michaels is, because look, you can say whatever you want to say. Ric Flair is amazing. He is amazing in that ring, and for him to be the way he was indulging in alcohol every day, was still able to put on 45-minute clinics and hour clinics. That's crazy. So like you can learn a lot from him. You really, really can. He can.
Well, he taught Triple H a lot during those evolutions.
Yeah.
Something that's relevant now that wasn't as relevant then is social media and the internet age. You can still have something, and before you had to trade tapes, so you could only be relevant to a certain amount. You had a certain amount of reach. Now you could have one thing get popping. You're known around the world. I was cooking the other day, and one of the people that I trained years back, called me and somebody found just some of my matches and was like, I see the way you work as a big dude and you're crazy and your drop kicks and all this. And me, I'm just chilling. I'm working. I'm handling my business. But if that didn't make me want to go train that night, like, you thought that was profit.
Yo, I have a similar story to that. I was trying to, like, I was gym hunting and I was camp hunting because I was like, you know what? It's my time. I need to get back in the cage.
Gotcha.
And I found this UFC gym on Greenpoint in Brooklyn. And it's like 15 minutes away from my job, driving wise. So I was early, and one of the trainers is endorsed with Cage Wars, which the company I fight for. Okay. And guess what? She was like, hold up, you used to be known as Junior Vargas, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, yo, I used to watch you whooping ass.
That's
like,
what I'm talking about.
Amazing.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, bruh. And then she knew all my trainers, and they called them. They were like this, damn, bro, where the fuck you been at? Like, you was one of my top fighters. Like, to me, to hear that, I was like, all right, give me 1 hour. Let me go home, grab my equipment, and I'm coming
and
to
then you ready to go.
Yeah, like, I get where you're coming from with that, because it's true.
Yeah,
like,
I have a story similar to that, too. Like, I just did a promo for, like, the open mic that I've been doing so much, you know, and I was like, let me just do it just to do my chops. I got such a good feedback on that. I was like, you know what? Let me cut another promo. I'll cut a promo on my grocery list, goddammit. If I had to do it, I had to do it. Because you all are right. It's like people don't get it because when you're training and we're doing this, we're in one mindset. We're like in a bubble. So when you have somebody that tap you on your shoulder and be like, hey, I see you. I respect what you're doing. Like you said, you work good for a big dude. I see you coming back on your MMA stuff. I think you're good with the hosting and the commentary and stuff like that. That makes you want to step up your game. It does. It makes you want to step up your game. But,
I love you guys. You know, I can't ask for more awesome people. Thank you.
It's amazing. No, but it's the best feeling, and I guarantee you, this is what every athlete goes through. They see that they got people's attention, and they see it. Because here's the thing that I learned over the years: you might not get the support and love from like your family members and stuff, but when you have strangers that are well known for these sports, and they're the ones that telling you, dude, I used to see how you knock this person out. Or they see Maurice, I see how you drop kick this guy. And then they see you like, yo, you were the best commentary I've ever heard. It makes you feel like I'm on the right path. I know I'm doing something right, and I gotta keep going.
And the legends know you, and you didn't even know they knew your name. I was like, who was it? When we did Say It Loud, Too Cold Scorpio was there, and I saw him come in. I said, hi, Scorpio. He said, hey, Megan, how you doing? Oh, geez.
Can't tell you that for the rest of the day.
How you doing? Like, you need help with your bags?
And very surprisingly,
school knew my name. I was like,
and it gets very but it feels good. It feels good, especially someone you look up to, like me. I will feel that way if one day I'm walking and I bump into like Khabib or George St. Pierre, and they be like, I know who you are. I swear to fucking God, I'll drop dead right there. I would literally want to be dead already and say, I did my life. These guys know who I am.
Yeah,
I did what I did.
No, it's crazy. Yeah, it is. Cause my mom's like, Megan, you gotta stop saying when somebody say your name. Yeah, you gotta stop. Like, yeah.
It's the best. And I bet you, like BMF, I bet you your hubby, he probably goes through that all the time. He probably goes there all the time. Like, there's probably people going up to him like, yo, dude, I saw your show, bro. You a fucking awesome wrestler. I guarantee you, like, it's something like I said, like, I have a feeling Vince is gonna go through that. He's gonna go through that maybe a year or 2 years from now. He's gonna be like Vince. Even though creatively WWE was slacking, but it's because of you. I tune in every Monday, and at the time when we were kids, every Thursday. It's because of you. I had to purchase pay-per-view to watch WrestleMania, to watch Backlash, to
The
watch
fact that
SummerSlam,
there
to watch all
is
that
a
shit.
WrestleMania, as much as we say it's slacking as fans, look at where it was before Vince and look at what it is now.
Yes,
It's a
now.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at Money in the Bank. That
multi-billion-dollar
had Triple H
industry.
fingerprints all over.
But that's what I'm saying. But like I'm saying as old fans, and then in the newer fans, they're gonna be like this. It's because of you, Vince. I love to get on Peacock and subscribe and watch pay-per-views. Because of you, I have to come home
Off
from
the network.
school. And I guarantee you, the moment Vince hears that, he's that feeling he's gonna be like, fuck, I feel empty. And that's what we all go through all the time when we
Yeah.
don't have what we love. Like I bet you without this podcast, I think I would be feeling like shit. BMF will feel like shit because we're not doing what we passionately do. And people remind us like, yo, BMF, when you had your co-host or when you were doing your show by yourself, why you stopped? You were fucking amazing. It becomes that
It's
little
hard to leave.
ball that we need to grab and put it back where it belongs. And that's where
I
we
would
go.
say, why you stop cussing people out on your shorts? I missed it. That's the part I love. I'm like, see, that's why I love this girl. She can check you in 15 seconds. Go ahead. Like, that's what I love about it. No, but it's the same thing for you, for all of us. You know, you take it away from us, it's gonna be like, oh my goodness.
It's
But
taking like another part of us.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Maurice, wrestling is in his DNA.
Yeah.
This is who he is. With me, MMA is in my DNA. That's just who I am. You are an interviewer. You do your commentary. That's who you are. That's part of you. So
Yeah,
you
it
go
Actually,
she's a
Bless you.
podcaster. Bless you. She's a podcaster. She has a hubby that's in wrestling. They're part of that business now. No matter what, it's their DNA. So you can't take it away from us. You can't. This is who we are.
As scary as we are to see it, we get it. So be safe.
Stop fronting.
Huh?
The next one is August 6th, man. You need to come.
August 6th?
Man, what the fuck I was gonna say?
At what time though? Because I have a bachelor party to go to.
No.
But
That'll be more fun.
Gatorade and water on deck. That's all.
well, guys, October
Sanitizer.
17th, Atlantic City is my return flight. So let's get it. It's official. I already spoke to them. My camp starts in 3 weeks.
I'm actually next week. When? Oh, in
October
the
17th.
Amazing.
It's gonna be in Atlantic City.
That's gonna be dope. We're gonna take it.
Hmm?
Be live.
It's gonna be live. They're gonna be live on Facebook and their website. The website, they're probably gonna charge maybe $5 a person to watch it, so it's not that bad. I'm the third last fight, so you got 2 title fights after me, which I don't mind staying to watch that because the main event is gonna be a heavyweight fight, which I can't wait to see that. So I'm fighting a Brazilian guy, which is dope because he has the same background as me. He has a jiu-jitsu black belt. And so I already know what to do. Like I have to strike with him because I know he's gonna want to grapple most of the time.
He's gonna try to grapple, get you to the ground. You already know what to do.
So I gotta give him a little bit of Israel Adesanya on him. I gotta learn how to move and hit. But
I can move, stand and bang.
Yeah.
Actually, next week I'm interviewing another MMA fighter.
That's great.
Maybe you've heard of him. I gotta ask him his MMA name though. If he has a different name when he fights.
Well, I had a different name because I was trying to hide. I was trying to hide from my family that I didn't want them to know what I was doing. So because of course I started fighting at 19 amateurly. So I did it right after high school. I didn't think about college or nothing. I was like, this is what I want to do. I called an adrenaline rush with it. And I changed my name because I grew up with that honorable code of a martial artist that I didn't want to do this for the fame, and I didn't want people to also know what I was doing for a living. But because that was the time when technology was evolving around 2010 to 2011, my video started getting leaked out on Facebook. It started getting leaked out on YouTube.
Oh,
People started seeing that it was me, and they were like, "Why are you going by Junior Vargas?" That was because Vargas was my second maiden last name, and Junior was the name that I grew up being called because my dad and I have the same name. So I had to change it because I didn't want my family to find out, even though they were getting suspicious about it, because there's times I go home and I have a cut on my eyebrow, I have a cut here, I have a bruise here, and they were just like, "What the fuck did you go through?"
yeah,
But
you
then when
feeling like you were a stripper.
Huh?
You were hiding from your, no, strippers do that. They hide that from their family. You were just
Nah,
fighting
but
somebody.
but here's the thing. My mom, you gotta remember, even though she's not my biological mom, she's my stepmom, but she's my mom. She raised me. I was the only boy. So you know,
Okay.
all girls doing safe things, and I'm the only one doing crazy shit out there in the world. So of course, she was very overprotective.
Yeah, I get it.
She didn't want me to go through that. But then now she's supportive. Like now she's even telling me, "When is your fight coming up?" And I was like, "October." I
Hey,
didn't know the date. I'm
That's
gonna
what's
let her
up.
know this weekend. So
what's up?
now
Good luck, man. Train
Good
hard.
luck.
Wish you nothing
Thank
but
you.
the best.
I definitely am. So
He
more I'm going to
he came a long way. I'm super proud of him.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you.
Um,
Yeah, let us know, because I get it $5 to watch you.
Yeah, we'll support. We'll support.
Yeah,
I
We'll
was
support.
here in person, but since it's not out here, yeah, I'm gonna watch.
No,
Watch
definitely.
it,
I'll let
and
you
then the
know. I'll let
following
you
week,
know.
let's do a
Because
podcast, and then
now,
just
no,
break it
but
down.
now,
Just break it
but now
down.
that
Oh
company,
yeah.
now that company is going up because guess who was hosting it this whole week of an event? Mike
Oh.
Tyson. He's been
Oh.
hosting Cage Wars now. Yeah,
Oh, I just
So-
seen that they making a fucking show on his life. Did you guys
Yeah.
see that? It looks-
On Netflix. Yeah, it looks
You
good.
had a rough life,
Yeah.
yo.
I can imagine. But he is now so into MMA, and he feels like that if he gets into the UFC, he's just making UFC elevate because of his
Mhm.
name alone. So
Yeah.
he's like, let me just go after the ones that are not known yet, and let me elevate them so people don't have to just think about UFC. They could just go straight to like Bellator or
Mhm.
Cage of Warriors, which is in Europe, or even PFL.
One championship.
No,
Yeah.
One championship. One championship PFL are going head to head because they're grabbing people that used to be in the UFC. And then look at Khabib. Khabib has his own organization
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So and he already
So does
signed.
Jorge.
Yeah.
Jorge
Jorge too. Jorge
Mhm.
Masvidal has his own thing now too. And why? Because MMA is now getting that recognition that it deserves. And that's why I'm glad I'm still young enough to experience that. Like even it's getting to the point that I might go to Florida because my boy wants me to train in his camp because he says that those guys are animals. And
Which
he said
part?
it.
Yeah.
I think in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you're going to be in my state. Okay.
Oh
But
no,
you know,
wait. No, not Tampa. Sorry. I'm actually going to Miami. And I promised him that I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in September. And he says these guys are animals. They don't even train in UFC. They train for other organizations.
APT is
And
down
these
here.
guys, he
APT
told me
is down
straight
here
up.
now.
He told me straight up, I wouldn't tell you this if you couldn't handle them. I know you could. So I feel very honored. This guy's a black belt. He's been doing this all his life. He's not a lot, but he's older than me. And we competed one time. I enjoyed that fight for like that was one of my favorite fights of all time.
That's
And
great.
me and him going head to head in Queens College, and they literally put us second to last. And then the promoters of the martial art crew said we should have made y'all last because you guys just went at it. Y'all stole the fucking show. You guys literally, and even though I lost that competition, that man, I earned his respect, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to earn the respect of these higher level fighters. And because I earned his respect, he told me right away, you want a serious camp, you come to mine in Miami. You got to come to mine because this camp is going to make you the animal that I know that you are. And I was just like, yo, I got to go there. I have to.
Yeah, it'll open doors for you and shit.
Yeah,
You gotta let me know when you touch down, god dang it.
Well, I'm planning to go there for a week. I'm planning to go there for a week in September. So I'll give you a heads up.
Yep. Keep the eyes. Mm-hmm.
I got you on the business end if you want to have fun. I can make phone calls. Yeah.
I'll call out Kobe Covington now since I have a little bone to pick with that fucking faggot. But I'm good though.
Wow.
I'm not Jorge. I can wrestle.
Break his jaw.
Here's the difference between me and Jorge. No offense to Jorge. I'm the Peruvian that can actually wrestle with Kobe. So, Kobe, watch out. I still want to fight him. That's one of my dream fights right now. I want one-on-one with Kobe Covington. I'll drop another 10 pounds.
Please, I will have a whole banner saying "beat his ass." Oh my God, I can't stand that dude. I thought I was gonna have a depression when he all asleep. Well, Jorge, I said.
I was very disappointed in that fight. Jorge was not the Jorge I thought he was when he fought Nate.
You know what I thought it was? You ever heard that expression? They were afraid to pull the trigger.
Yes.
That's what it looked like. It was
like he was. He looked
like he was
like
afraid to pull the trigger. Now, do you think that was because he knew so much about him? Because sometimes that could be the bad thing when you fight somebody and the rivalry is so personal, or you know them. You're a gun shy.
It's true.
And that's what made me wonder. Because I watched the fight and I'm like, this ain't Jorge. This ain't the same Jorge that knocked Ben Askren out in 5 seconds. Well, really 3.
This is not the guy that went toe-to-toe with one of the heavy hitters, Darren Till. This is not the Jorge that went toe-to-toe with that guy. But here's the thing, though. Like, this is your UFC. I don't know what's really going on with them. Like, I don't like the road they're heading a little bit because they're just focusing on super fights. They're focusing on other shit when they should be focused on the fighters that actually bring fights. Like, they actually are martial artists. With Kobe Covington.
Oh, so you mean they're focusing on characters instead of the actual in-match ring? Sound familiar?
Yeah, no. And here's the thing. Like, but one day, like even in boxing and even in wrestling, like look at wrestling. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are best friends and train together, and they go at it, and they go hard in the freaking ring.
You don't hit nobody that hard unless you trust them.
Yeah, and then think about it this way. In MMA, one way or the other.
When you wrestling a friend, I'm gonna beat fire out you. You my boy. I'm gonna kick you in your mouth. Like that's.
Look at Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They beat each other like they owe each
That's how you know. Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Look at that. They freaking.
They beat each other up like they owe each other money. Like that's how it was.
In MMA, when you have a rivalry like Jorge and Kobe that was so personal, and they knew each other way before. UFC even became UFC the way it is again. But at the same time, you got to think of it this way.
Yeah.
Look at Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. They were teammates in Blackzilla. And now Kamaru is training with Justin Gaethje's trainer. So now that they're different gyms, but think about it. Kamaru had love for Gilbert. He said it. Even though I'm going to knock him out at the end of the day when that bell rings, I'm going to have love for that guy. And it's difficult. And I have fought a guy that was in the same camp as me, and we had to switch. I think they took me out of the gym and put me in a different gym because I had to prepare for him because we were in the same weight division, and we had to have different tactics for each other. He knew at the time I was more specialized with jiu-jitsu when it came to a striker. If we were going to strike, who knows who's going to win? So at the end, when we fought, he was very surprised that I outstruck him because he also forgot that I'm a striker myself. I have both shoots. But the thing is, it's so hard. It's harder to fight someone that was in your camp, and now it's a personal rival.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
It's very hard to do that because, trust me, there are even times that you lose a best friend, and now y'all became fucking enemies. You're never going to fight because the person knows who you are. He knows how you are. And you're also in that same position. And
especially if you're a good person, because you still remember what was, you can't deal with it. Like what is, it's hard because you'll know if you go to that point, what's going to happen. And out of respect for what you had, it's tough because to go to that point, to flip that switch, you don't know how far you're going to go, and there's a line, and in your spirit, sometimes you don't want to cross that line. Some people don't care, but good people, core good people, they usually don't, because if you do, you can't come back from that, and sometimes it's better to just not even risk it. There's friends, rivals, or people who were friends that now rivals, it's tough.
Like,
I'm not even gonna lie, like the what was the last UFC fight that I thought was hard to watch for me, honestly, was when it was Benson Henderson versus Cowboy Cerrone. Two of my favorite fighters was I was like, no. And that was when Cowboy was like on a run. He was like, if somebody fell out, he was going in the spot. Because they trained together, they both are from Denver. So when they wrestled, that was hard. That when they fought, that was hard to watch.
it was hard to watch.
Instagram is throwing me off. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for being here. They'll be back.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Have a good night and may the force be with y'all.
All right, good night. Bye, everybody.
Have a good